Alex Vega had been working on Aurora Prime, humanity's most advanced space station, for nearly 5 years. He had seen everything from meteor showers to alien delegations, but nothing had prepared him for the moment he first saw Lyra. The corridor was quiet, the hum of the station's systems filling the silence, and Alex was performing his usual security check. His boots echoed softly against the metal floor as he moved past the docking bays. The station was peaceful now, but in space, peace was always temporary. He rounded the corner near his quarters, expecting the familiar sight of the empty hallway. Instead, he froze. A figure leaned casually against the doorway. It was an alien woman, her violet skin shimmering under the station lights. Her posture was confident, almost defiant. And she smiled at him in a way that made his chest tighten. She had a boldness that no human Alex had met before dared to show. "You humans are so serious," she said, her voice melodic yet teasing. "Always walking around with your heads down like the galaxy owes you something." Alex blinked, unsure how to respond. He was trained to stay calm, to observe, to assess. But the way she looked at him, with curiosity and a playful grin, made it hard to maintain his usual composure. Lieutenant Alex Vega," he finally managed. "And you are?" "Lyra," she said simply, tilting her head. "I am a Zaytharan, explorer, observer, friend, or at least I hope to be." Alex wasn't sure what to think. Zaytharans were known for their confidence and directness. They rarely hid anything. Unlike humans, they did not value formalities as much. And yet, this particular Zaytharan seemed different. She was more than just bold. She radiated curiosity and intelligence, and she wasn't afraid to test the limits of human patience. Lyra stepped into the corridor, her movements fluid, almost like she was gliding. She had a calm presence that made Alex feel both nervous and intrigued at the same time. He noticed the details, the way her eyes caught the light, reflecting shades of violet and silver, the faint shimmer of bioluminescent patterns along her arms, a sign of her species' unique biology, and the way her smile suggested she knew exactly how to get him out of his comfort zone. "I've been observing humans for months," she said, "and I must say, you're fascinating creatures, brave, curious, stubborn, all at once, but also funny. You try to hide it, but I see it." Alex shook his head, trying to maintain his professional stance. "You're here for the mission, aren't you? Not for casual observation." Lyra laughed, a sound like wind chimes in zero gravity. "Yes, I'm here for the mission, but I also like to meet the people who make the mission possible. You humans are so serious that sometimes you forget the adventure of it all." Over the next several hours, Alex and Lyra spoke. They started cautiously, exchanging stories about their respective worlds. Alex talked about Earth's colonies, humanity's struggles in space, and the challenges of working on a massive station like Aurora Prime. Lyra shared tales of Zathara, a planet rich with floating cities and technologies that humans had only begun to imagine. She described alien landscapes, cities built into the sky itself, and creatures that existed in forms humans could barely comprehend. The conversation grew more comfortable. Alex found himself laughing at her teasing, at the way she mocked human seriousness with good humor. It was a welcome change from the rigid routines of station life. But as the conversation went on, Alex realized there was more to her visit than playful curiosity. She spoke of secret star routes, hidden wormholes, and technologies capable of deflecting enemy fleets. Lyra's knowledge suggested that she wasn't just an explorer, she was a strategist, a thinker, someone who could change the course of events in ways Alex had never imagined. And if her information was accurate, humanity's survival depended on acting quickly. "I trust you, Alex," she said, leaning forward slightly, her gaze steady. "I wouldn't have come here otherwise." There are things you humans can do, things that no other species could manage under pressure. Courage, resourcefulness, ingenuity. These are your strengths. Alex felt a mixture of pride and apprehension. He had always believed in human potential, but hearing it from an alien of her intelligence gave him a new sense of responsibility. Lyra wasn't asking for obedience. She was asking for partnership. And in the vast emptiness of space, partnerships could make the difference between survival and disaster. They spent the rest of the night mapping star charts, discussing potential threats, and testing theories about enemy fleet behaviors. Lyra's presence pushed Alex to think differently, to question his assumptions, and to trust instincts he had long ignored. There was a synergy forming between them, one that blended human determination with alien insight. By the time Aurora Prime's artificial dawn signaled the start of a new day, Alex understood something clearly. This encounter was no accident. Lyra's arrival, her boldness, her willingness to challenge him, it all had a purpose. And as he watched her move through the corridors, reviewing alien data with precise focus, he realized that humanity had gained more than an ally. They had gained a bridge between worlds, a living reminder that courage and curiosity were universal. In the quiet moments that followed, Alex reflected on the night's events. The galaxy was vast and unpredictable, full of dangers humans had yet to face. But for the first time in a long while, he felt ready. Not just ready to defend humanity, but ready to embrace the unexpected, to trust in the unknown, and to step forward with confidence. Lyra's grin, bold and unyielding, lingered in his mind. She had challenged him without words, tested him without force, and inspired him without even trying. That was the power of her presence, and perhaps the power of humanity itself when it dared to rise to the occasion. As the station's systems hummed around them and the first ships began docking for the day, Alex knew one thing for certain. The adventure was only beginning. The universe was watching, and humanity had the chance to prove it could rise above every challenge. With Lyra by his side, bold and clever, he was ready to show that humans were not just survivors. They were explorers, strategists, and heroes in the making. The morning on Aurora Prime was quiet but tense. The station's alert systems had detected unusual activity near the outer colonies. Alex Vega had already reviewed the data Lyra provided, and a sinking feeling settled in his chest. The information was precise, frightening, and urgent. A hostile alien fleet was moving through a series of hidden star routes, heading straight for the colonies. Humanity's defenses were limited, and if the fleet reached the colonies, millions could die before reinforcements arrived. Alex and Lyra convened in the station's command room. Holographic star maps hovered in the air, displaying the fleet's trajectory and the locations of vulnerable human settlements. Lyra's knowledge of alien tactics gave them insight that human strategists had never considered. Her calm presence contrasted with the tension of the room, and yet, somehow, her confidence inspired those around her. "We don't have much time," Lyra said, pointing to the hologram. "If we create a diversion here near the outer rim, we can force them to change course. It's risky, but your humans have the resourcefulness to pull it off." Alex studied the map, analyzing every possibility. His training told him caution, yet his instincts reminded him that boldness often yielded results humans didn't expect. "We'll need volunteers," he said. "People willing to take calculated risks. We can't do this with standard procedures." Lyra smiled faintly. "That's why I came to you. You humans excel at improvisation when the stakes are high." Over the next several hours, Alex organized a specialized team. They included engineers, pilots, and security personnel, all hand-picked for their skill and adaptability. Lyra worked alongside them, explaining alien tactics, identifying weak points in the enemy fleet, and sharing star navigation techniques that allowed them to traverse dangerous routes unnoticed. As the crew prepared, Alex took a moment to watch Lyra. She moved with precision and confidence, demonstrating equipment, giving instructions, and answering questions with patience. Yet there was a playful edge to her demeanor that reminded Alex of their first meeting in his doorway. Despite the gravity of the situation, she maintained a spark of curiosity, of joy in facing the unknown. It was a reminder to everyone that courage could coexist with curiosity. Finally, the team was ready. Alex and Lyra led a small vessel equipped with experimental propulsion systems. Their plan was simple, but daring. Create a decoy that would draw the enemy fleet away from the colonies while the main human defenses prepared for an ambush. The execution required precise timing, coordination, and trust in instincts. As the vessel approached the edge of the system, Alex's hands tightened on the controls. The stars stretched past them in streaks of light as they entered the wormhole Lyra had identified. The fleet was close, moving faster than any human ship could normally track. But with Lyra's guidance, they navigated the hidden routes, weaving through asteroids and gravitational anomalies that would have been impossible for humans alone. "Hold steady," Lyra instructed. "Their sensors will struggle to detect us here. Timing is everything." Alex nodded, his mind focused on every variable. He trusted Lyra's judgment, and in return, she trusted his ability to lead and make split-second decisions. Together, they formed a partnership that neither species had experienced before. Suddenly, the fleet appeared on the holographic radar, dozens of massive ships moving in formation. The diversion had to begin immediately. Alex activated the experimental propulsion system, creating a visual signature designed to mimic a human battleship squadron. The enemy fleet took the bait, adjusting its course toward the decoy. Lyra monitored their movements with sharp precision. "They're following the decoy," she said. "Now, we move. Take the hidden passage through the asteroid field. It's tight, but you can do it." The vessel slipped into the asteroid field, dodging massive rocks and energy pulses. The crew worked in perfect synchronization, guided by Alex's commands and Lyra's insight into enemy behavior. Every obstacle was met with human ingenuity and alien guidance. The tension was high, but the synergy between the two species turned what could have been disaster into controlled precision. Hours passed like minutes. The decoy successfully led the enemy fleet away, giving the outer colonies time to evacuate and strengthen defenses. Alex's heart pounded as he navigated the final stretch, knowing the smallest error could ruin everything. Yet Lyra's calm voice beside him offered reassurance, grounding him amidst the chaos. By the time they returned to Aurora Prime, the human crew was exhausted but triumphant. The colonies were safe, the enemy fleet misdirected, and humanity had gained a strategic advantage it had never imagined. Lyra's contributions were pivotal, yet she remained modest, attributing their success to human courage and adaptability. Alex looked at her, recalling the first moment she leaned on his doorway, confident and daring. That playful grin had been a harbinger of the partnership that saved countless lives. She had challenged him, inspired him, and reminded him that the true strength of humans lay not just in technology or numbers, but in their spirit, their ingenuity, and their willingness to step into the unknown. Later, in the quiet of the station's observation deck, Alex and Lyra stood side by side, watching the stars streak past as supply ships and rescue vessels traveled to the colonies. "You humans are remarkable," Lyra said softly. "I have observed many species, but few face the galaxy with your combination of courage and creativity." Alex smiled, feeling both pride and humility. "It wasn't just me," he replied. "It was all of us. And it was you, too. You guided us when we needed it most." Lyra's eyes glimmered with a mix of amusement and respect. "Perhaps. But I think this shows what happens when humans dare to rise above fear." You take challenges that others would avoid and turn them into victories. That is something I admire more than anything else. Alex felt a deep sense of connection, not just with Lyra, but with humanity itself. The galaxy was vast, unpredictable, and often dangerous. But he now knew that humans had the courage, intelligence, and adaptability to face any threat. Lyra had come as a stranger, bold and confident, but she had become a partner, a guide, and a symbol of what humans could achieve when they embraced the unknown. The adventure was far from over. The galaxy would continue to test humanity, throwing new challenges, enemies, and mysteries in their path. But Alex Vega, with the spirit of his species and the guidance of allies like Lyra, knew they were ready. They could survive, adapt, and even thrive where others would falter. As the station lights reflected on the observation deck, Alex realized that the encounter in the doorway, bold, playful, unexpected, was more than a moment of curiosity. It was the beginning of a story about courage, ingenuity, and the indomitable spirit of humanity. And with allies like Lyra, there was no challenge too great, no star too distant, and no enemy too formidable for humans to face. In that moment, Alex Vega understood what it truly meant to be human, to face the unknown with bravery, to trust in one another, and to rise above fear, no matter the odds. Humanity had proven it could shine in the darkest reaches of space, and this was only the beginning of their journey among the stars.